I'm continuing my MCU rewatch, and we're finally being introduced to the last member of the original six Avengers. So join me as I rewatch Captain America, the First Avenger. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and follow for more. So we're introduced to Steve Rogers in 1942. He's a small, scrawny man who repeatedly tries to enlist for the US Army, but is repeatedly rejected because of his small size and ill health. When scientist Abraham Erskine overhears Steve talking about how much he wants to join the army, he enlists Steve and puts him through the super soldier program, giving Steve enhanced strength and speed, basically at the highest point that a human can be. At first, Steve doesn't even get the chance to be a soldier, instead being used as war propaganda, which is funny because that's exactly what Captain America was when he was originally written in the 1940s. It isn't until a year later in the film, when he learns that his friend Bucky's unit has gone MIA, that he rushes off to free them and proves himself as a hero. Steve then gets upgraded with a new suit and an indestructible metal shield and fights against the evil organization Hydra, led by the Red Skull. Plot 3.5. The main villain of this film is Johann Schmidt, aka the Red Skull. He's the leader of Hydra, a scientific organization who, let's say, allied themselves with the other side of the Second World War. He's a failed original version of the super soldier experiment, hence the Red Skull. His plan is to use the energy from the Tesseract to power weapons to gain world domination.
You will be punished for your insolence. You will be brought before the Führer himself!
Now for me, Red Skull was a good villain, but I still consider him a missed opportunity. For starters, I feel like his rivalry with Cap is barely there. If you see them in the comics, Red Skull is Cap's biggest villain. Their rivalry is on the levels of Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Half of Captain America's stories are literally somehow Red Skull or Hydra is back. But if you watch this film without any prior knowledge, I feel like you would think that he's just another foil for Cap to stop, because that's what he feels like here. Villain 3.5. This film is a pretty spot-on retelling of Captain America's origin story. I think he's done perfectly. In fact, I read some of the various Captain America origin stories that Marvel has written over the years, and I would go as far as saying I'd probably like it better here. It's just more simple and cohesive. I think the biggest change here would be Bucky not being Captain America's teenage sidekick. And once again, I prefer the MCU Bucky. I like him as an adult, looking out for Steve. And it led to one of the best friendships in the MCU. I think it makes his death hurt more too. Instead of Bucky going out heroically to save Steve, he dies helping Steve on what would be considered a routine mission. Maybe I'm looking into it way too much, but to me, it just shows the cost of war. Comic accuracy 4.5. I have one main thought about this film, but I'm on the fence about whether it's a positive or a negative. I think this film mostly works in hindsight when put with the other movies in the trilogy. The way that Captain America goes through the rest of the MCU all stems from this film. But then should I praise this film for cementing a good foundation for the character, or praise all the other films for continuing them? Like, this film is referenced all the time.
You just don't know when to give up, do you?
I can do this all day. I can do this all day. I can do this all day.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I like how this film is referenced. But how much can I say this film is rewatchable by itself? By itself, it's just a decently good movie. But like Thor, it isn't something that I would choose to rewatch outside of a marathon. I think, like Steve Rogers himself, this movie has a lot of heart, and seeing him go from a scrawny kid to war propaganda to a fully fledged hero is great to see, especially as someone who likes Captain America. Rewatchability 3. I have basically the same opinion on this film that I have on Thor. It's just a decent movie, but it is a very great starting point into Captain America's entire arc.
Hey! Let's hear it for Captain America!
It's definitely the film that's aged the best because of later additions to the franchise. It also reintroduces us to the Tesseract, which was later revealed as the Space Stone, and the film opens with a whole speech about Yggdrasil the World Tree, which also connects it to Thor.
Yggdrasil, tree of the world.
Finally, it ends with Captain America waking up in the present day and being recruited into the Avengers by Nick Fury. It's the final piece in the MCU Phase 1 origin story puzzle. Final score 3.625.